Welcome to Minutes That Matter. In this video, we will learn how to manage users and groups as well as OUs. Let's log into the server 1. Now we can start by learning how date and time zone can affect user logon. So let's go to the server, local server. In the server manager, change the date and time zone. I'm setting the time zone to the local time zone. Now let's do the same on the client computer. Let's log in as domain administrator. Right click on the date and time option on the bottom right corner and select adjust date and time. Now here you can choose the time zone. Now in our case it is plus 5:30 UTC. But for now, let's move on. Now that we have previously given logon hours permissions to the Active Directory users, we'll try to log in as a user and see if there is any effect of time zone. Now looks like the user must change password at next logon option is enabled, hence the password expired. So let's enter the password. Now you can see your account has time restrictions, so user is unable to log in. Now, no matter how many number of times you do this, it will not allow you to log in at this particular time. So let's go to the server. Let's go to Tools and Active Directory Users and Computers. And then select the users to whom we want to allow logon at a particular given time. Now you can go for accounts and you can go for logon hours. Notice the time zone has changed the settings on logon hours. So we will once again select logon permitted for the entire week. And by the way, we can set logon hours commonly for multiple users at a time. Let's check. There it is. Now let's try logging in as user 2 once again. Password changed successfully. And yes, you can see that the user 2 is able to log in. This time we don't have any time restrictions. Now let's say we get some desktop icons. Now, if you want to see which user has logged into this computer, you can go to Start and identify the user, or you can go to the Task Manager also and click on More Details and then click on Users to see which user has logged in and what are the services running on the user behalf. Okay, so let's sign out for now from the client computer, and let's log in back to the server. Now, user must change password at next logon was enabled. If you want to disable that option, we can go to the properties of the user and then click on account and then choose account options. Uncheck the option called user must change password at next logon. Now let's say we want user 3 to specifically log into a specific computer, then we can choose this option, log on to, in the account tab of the user properties. We can add a lot of information for user 3. Now let's say user 3 has a reporting manager, say user 1. Now if we want to select that reporting manager, we can choose the corresponding manager by clicking on change and say apply. Now let's say user is a member by default to domain users group, but we want this user 3 to be a member of some other group. Now we can see a list of built-in groups like domain administrator, schema administrator, or account operators, so on. Now we would like to test with the group which we have created, say G01. So give OK once again, and you can see U03 is a member of G01 group. Now we can test it by going to G01 and properties and then click on members. You can see user 03 is a member of G01 group. Now we can also add users directly into the G01 group. Let's say we want to add user 01. So we can type the name or partially and then click check names to confirm. Now you can see U01 and U03 are the members of G01 group. By the way, G01 group can also be a member of some other group. Let's try that. Let's say I want G01 to be a member of G02 group. So we can type the name of the group, check names, give OK. Now, making a group member of another group is called group nesting. Not all types of groups can be members of all types of groups. We can also add a contact to a group. So a group can have different types of memberships. That can be users, that can be computers, that can be contacts, or even other groups. In the properties of a contact, under member of tab, we can see the contact membership. Now we can try the same steps by going to Active Directory Administrative Center. Now you can see we are trying to add user 2 to a group called G03 in the Active Directory Administrative Center. Now not only we can perform this task in Active Directory Administrative Center, but also we can see what is the corresponding PowerShell command used to perform the task, and also learn how to use PowerShell effectively. So we can go to one client computer what we have in our domain, client 01. We can go to the properties. We can add it to a particular group, or we can even delegate it for particular permissions. Now you can see we can also assign a user or a group to manage that computer. Say for example, enterprise administrator can manage or is the one managing this specific client computer. We can see we got so many built-in groups which got created at the time of Active Directory installation. If you notice carefully, the group scope type, universal security or security universal group, there are only 4 types of them, and these groups are the highest privileged groups. All other groups like domain users or domain guests or domain controllers or domain admins come under security global group scope type. Now let's check one more option. We do have OU01 and OU001, and let's say we want to delete one of these departments, say OU001. So when we right click on the OU01 and try to delete it, it will say it is protected from accidental deletion. Now to remove that option, we need to go for View and then View Advanced Settings, and then right click on the OU, go to Properties. Notice under Object Title there is an option called Protect Object from Accidental Deletion. Uncheck that, apply, OK. Now this is not a recommended option to do so because we don't want to delete the Active Directory objects without a proper concern. Now we are just learning how to delete any object which is protected from accidental deletion. Now let's check one more option. Say I want to make user 01 act like administrator, have some administrative privileges on the OU01. So we right click on OU01 and then click on Delegate Control, click on Add and select user 01 and give OK. Now you can see user 01, we can delegate some custom tasks such as creating, deleting and managing user accounts, read user password or reset user password, read all user information, create users or create groups and other things. Now if we want to see what exactly this user permissions include, we cannot see it from the same options here. So to do so, we need to again go for View, Advanced Features and then right click on the OU, go to Properties and then click on Security and then notice in the group and user list we can see user 01 and user 01 permissions are not visible in the permissions list for U01, but we can see that there are some special permissions given to user 01. So click on Advanced and now you can see user 01 got permissions related to users, groups and some full control. If we want to further fine-tune these permissions, click on Edit. Notice if we scroll down, we can see the exact permissions given to the user. Create group objects, delete group objects. We can also customize permissions in here. Likewise, this option is meant for users. Create user objects, delete user objects. And you can see it is a full control which includes all the permissions related to the corresponding object. Now we can customize or even remove user from delegation of control after the given task is performed. Now I believe in this video we have learned how to manage users with reference to time zone settings and also groups. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.